Hey, yo. You ready? Let's do it. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, mate. With the it's over.
It's over, mate.
For another year.
How are you feeling?
Well, you know what? It's a great weekend, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's obviously Lakeland.
Yeah, it's obviously. Don't need an introduction.
It wasn't Camp Festival that we went to. It was Lakeland.
But from me too. What a performance on your side.
Oh, thank you.
I think over the past month or so, there's been a shift, and I've said this to you. The past month for 6 weeks, there's been a change, hasn't there? And from the what did you do, York's Three Peaks 2 weeks previous to it?
Yeah,
I think that was a big moment in the sense of, do you know what? Let's go and have a bit of a do at this.
Yeah.
And well, it's paid off. I know already 11-16 and a 20 half an hour PB pretty much.
Yeah, 26 minutes. Yeah,
which is.
Yeah,
it's decent, isn't it? It's 30 seconds a mile when you look at it.
I guess it is. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. But to be honest with you, yeah, it was a funny performance really, because first off, I'd sort of struggled and I didn't really think anything was going to change from the year before. Which I think because it's only once a year, you get like hyped up, don't you? Think I was like, I can't believe this is happening again. And then second half, just seemed to pick up quite a lot, and then felt pretty good at the end, which is obviously a good thing to get to in a 50-mile race, to feel actually stronger in the second half.
I think to come back in terms of, like, say, if you're struggling there up first 10-20 and then to actually make a switch and go, no, I actually feel alright here, because you could have easily gone other way and gone, oh no, well, I'm not on for this or I'm not on for that. Yeah,
well, we were laughing at that at the start, talking to Deborah at the start, and we were like, people were like, oh, I'm on for a sub 9 until I got 11 hours. Well, in that case, you were never on for a sub 9. Incredible. But it's such a good experience to win it, and I think, like you said, you get over that mindset of, oh, is it going to go well or not? Just enjoy it, mate, because it is class. And ultimately, mate, nobody really gives a shit about your time. Like, only you give a shit about your time.
And it is. And I think once the weekend's done and you've had your kind of your discussions about it all and everything else, literally, like, no one cares about it.
No.
It's good to have the target. I like the targets, me, in the sense of, like,
for yourself,
for you now, and like even on your side now, like, I look at it, and once I knew you finished in daylight and you'd done the time what you did, I was on the course, I was like, you know what, fair play to him there. He's given a bit. But then for me, I still think there's a bit more for the 50 to be had. Another 12 months, I think there's a lot more to go at. Which is quite exciting in the sense of, we're 4 or 5 years at Lakeland now, and we're still going, do you know what? There's still a bit more to be had. And I quite like that, in a sense of, it's not over yet, is it?
Not over, mate.
It's only just begun, mate. It's only just begun, hasn't it?
Always room for improvement, always get better. Yeah, no, chipping away at it, mate. But I mean, what a weekend. Emotional weekend, mate. I think this time round, I've seen the most amount of, like, I don't know, tears, camaraderie sort of thing. And I think with that Heroes theme has sort of helped with that.
Yeah, I think it did, yeah.
I don't know if I told you over a message or something, but I was like in bits at the end, and I honestly do not know.
So
why.
Was that as you come through the finish or after the finish?
Oh,
the
after.
10 sort
Got
of
my
thing?
T-shirt, walked around the corner, just fully went. But I think what I always think about that is I feel so much gratitude towards people. Like, the first time when I got upset in the first Lakeland was after Ambleside, when I'd seen everybody and was like, gosh, these people are there supporting me. It's such a nice thing. And then because Kate was welcoming me in at the end.
Did you get Kate as well? Yeah, it's brilliant.
Mate, that's what did me. She, when I come over the line, she was celebrating like mad, and I was like, how absolutely amazing that this person's like celebrating me coming over.
And I think that having that person coming in, I'm not saying no one's really good at it or no one's bad at it, but if you get Kate, for example, I've had Kate for 4 out of 5 years now, and I purposely, I'm like, oh, I want to be in this time, please come in and say a bit, and that can make, I'm not saying make or break it, but if you've got that someone pumping you up at the end, it's a great feeling, isn't it? And it is, isn't it? Bottom lip just going.
Mate, honestly, that's what did it for me, I think. And and for yourself, what an emotional weekend, and getting that done, and finally getting a PB on the chart, mate.
Well, yeah, took long enough, didn't it? But it was all, I'm not saying it was guaranteed. If I finished, it was a PB essentially. Because there was no way I was going through that the 2023 again. That wasn't happening. Yeah,
it's a big ass though, isn't it? 105 mile, mate.
Yeah, no matter what we. But I knew realistically, as long as I ate well and kind of did what I did, that it was going to be a PB, and it was 5 hours and 11 PB. So but it just shows how horrific that first time was.
Awful, mate. Awful. But let's not just unpack it between us, mate. Let's get the youngest ever. Triple crown. Incredible, mate.
That mother that's done it, what were it, 9 or low nines?
Low nines,
podium twice.
Insane. But yeah, what a great couple. Let's get them on.
No tears.
Only from me and you.
No tears. Tears all the way in this one, isn't there?
Brilliant. Right, catch you a bit.
Bye.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Hey, thank you very much for joining us on such short notice after the Lakeland weekend. I mean, what a weekend it is. Fantastic experience, and obviously you guys have had a great experience. How is recovery going so far?
Pretty good. I feel quite good. We went for a cycle ride today, and that was my longest cycle. So I was like, if I'm not running, why not do another sport? So, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I'm probably not feeling as good. Still a little bit drained and a little bit weary, but that's what age does to you, doesn't it?
It's like a bit of a fatigue thing. How are you, Carl? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm same. I'm tired. I'm tired. It's more the sleeping that I've struggled with, in the sense of just seem to get like 2 hours and then wake up and then kind of go back to sleep a little bit. It's a bit strange. And the night sweats for me, after those first couple of nights, were horrific. I don't know what you two are like, but mine were bad.
All I've done is dream about the race, and I've had a couple of nights where I've dreamt that I'm on the last parts of the course, but I can't get any further because there's like obstacles in the way, and people want to talk to me, or there's something that I can't get past, and my feet are just burning up in my dream, but they're also still burning up like day to day. So I think that's just playing on my mind the whole time. But yeah, sleep's a little bit like sort of broken, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever napped as much as I do at the moment. I like sit down on the sofa, and 2 hours later I wake up and I'm like, whoa, I had another nap. When did that happen?
Full recovery. I would really like a dream analyst to look at that dream of yours and be like, right, what does this mean?
Yeah. I'm hoping tonight I'm going to get to the finish, and then that'll be it. I don't dream about it anymore.
You'll never get there. If it's one of them dreams, it'll be just something stopping you all the time, won't it?
Yeah.
I've had them before when, like, after a race, I've dreamt that I've tripped up on the trail, and I woke up where I thought I'm going to hit my head.
Yeah, which is mad. That.
Oh, yeah.
Saying that, right, I had one. I can't remember if it was before or after the race, where I'd woken up. We were driving down this like traily road, and the car went. Right, it's a bit horrific. The car went off like the road, and as I was going into the trees, is when I woke up, and I was like, "This is mental." This, and I think that was before the I think it was before the 100, like literally in the hotel. So yeah, bit of a different one that really, but I was fine. Everyone was fine.
Yeah.
No one was hurt. So.
I normally dream like pre-event. I always have sort of, those pre-race dreams where you've forgotten your pack, or you don't make it to the start line, or you've got the wrong shoes. But I've never had it afterwards, so I don't know what's going on.
It's an experience, isn't it? It's an experience. Anyways, obviously, again, massive thank you for coming on. We're really looking forward to obviously chatting to you a little bit around the debrief really of the Lakeland weekend. So I guess just it would be really good for us and our listeners just to give us a real brief introduction around, I guess, how you guys sort of got into running in the first place, and then sort of let's dig into the weekend.
Too right.
Okay, so obviously I started running first. I started running after I gave birth to Thea after about 6 months. It was just time on my, when I could be alone and out of the house. Looking back now, I think it was probably, I needed it for my mental health, just to be on my own. But back then I was like, I'm just going to try and get fit. Did the classic thing, I'm going to do one London Marathon. My dad did the London Marathon when he was 40 and I was 10. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do the London Marathon. And I was so fortunate on my first ever attempt at getting into London, I got in on the ballot. And I did London. Unfortunately, I had a bad injury. I did finish, but I had a bad injury, which meant my time wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I actually snapped my fibula on the way around. So over Tower Bridge, my fibula snapped. And I did finish, and then I went back to have another go, and then the running just spiraled from there. And then I joined a running club, and then the running club said, let's do an ultra. I was like, nah. They said, let's do London to Brighton. And I was like, I don't ride bikes. And they're like, no, you could run London to Brighton. And I'm like, you're mad. That's 100 kilometres. Who runs 100 kilometres? Next thing I know, I'm signed up for it, and I had a brilliant time, and then I just went from there. And then, obviously, Thea then got into running.
Yeah, I think I joined a club at 8 years old, and then I've run at a club since, so that's now 11 years running for a club. I've changed club, I did track and everything, but it was when you went to the first Lakeland weekend. We went up in 2016, and we trained the year beforehand, so 2015. So I would have been about 7 or 8, and I would do up to 7 miles with my mum, and we'd be like lost on the trails, and we'd be running around, and she'd be stressed.
lost? Never lost.
Always lost. She would be really stressed, but I was just having such a great time. It would be like, Thea, we just got to get to the top of the hill and then you can have a moam. We just got to like get down to the bottom of the hill and we get to Coniston and you can have an ice cream. So I think that's where my love for the trail running started, was just being in the Lake District with my mum. Like no service, my dad waiting for us in a car park, and we'd just be like running around. It didn't matter how long it took, because I was okay. I was an okay runner. I wasn't slow, but I was definitely not winning any races as a kid. I wasn't that fast, so it was nice to just not really care about pacing. And then I always said, after I started marshalling, I was like, I want to do it when I turn 18. And then you were like, okay, we'll do it together then. So that's how we got into running Lakeland.
Yeah.
Nice. So what is it that took you up to the Lake District to start running?
So the year before, I as a sort of a running coach, and they tried to get me into the race because I think it was like a GB qualifier race.
Okay.
I'd done really well in a team, and in Endure 24 we'd won it, and one of the guys I was running with did a bit of coaching for me, and he was really surprised about how good my endurance was, and he's like, oh, you need to run this GB sort of ultra race. I'd never raced in the Lake District. I'd never been up there in my life. Anyway, he did email Mark, and Mark said, oh, look, I'm really sorry, it's closed. And then after that, I was like, oh, I want to go and do that race. And other friends would say, yeah, go up to the lakes, it's great, go and do that race. And yeah, then we just went up there and then just became a love affair of the Lake District. And coming from down south, and, you know, it's just incredible when you just see the lakes growing. I mean, you come up the M6 and you just see the lakes growing out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my goodness, you know. So yeah, it's just gone from there. We love it up there, don't we? So
epic that, and like quite special memories in a sense of like both training together from a young age as well. Not many people kind of get that. They might go to the lakes and go with the families, but to actually run together and be bribed with ice cream, it's quite a good quite
it's the course that we're like, oh, I could remember it from when we were 7 on the 100. We were running along, and I was like, we got lost here. How did we get lost?
Stop it. We don't get lost. We don't get lost ever. Your memory is really different to mine, because I remember the very first time we went up, we had the road book that somebody had sent me in the post. Someone had done it previously, but it was like a totally different. It's not like the foldy it is now. It had like a ring binder on it, and I just like promised to look after it. And Phil, my husband, he dropped us at Mardale Head, and then he's like, so we were like, okay, off you go. And I was like, I didn't have GPX on my watch. I just had this map and a compass that I can't even use, and a road book. And I was taking a 7-year-old. And I'm going to meet him somewhere else, like at Kentmere. I think it was Kentmere.
We're going to Kentmere.
And it was like, okay, well, this is going to go one of two ways. We're going to need mountain rescue, or we're going to make it. And we didn't get lost. We made it.
Here to tell the tale.
Yeah, because Mardale for a 7-year-old is quite a rough section to be dropped off in, really, isn't it?
Yeah, straight up Gatescar.
Yeah.
And she's, oh, my quads, my legs hurt, Mum. I was like, yeah, we can have a sweetie at the top. Right, next switchback, you can have a sweetie, keep going.
And then she'd be like, I didn't say this switchback, I meant the next switchback.
and there's a lot of switchbacks up Gatescar.
I think people fall for that every year in the sense that it's that false summer in it. They think they get there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no. And then
you just go, oh, here we go again. It's a bit like Fusedale. There's A part and B part, isn't there? For those two climbs, we always go, oh, that's part A done, on to part B.
Yeah, it's
I watched the guy up Gatescar. I physically saw him like hunch over and sigh when he saw the guys at the top. It was brilliant. There's another one yet, mate. There's another one to go yet. Oh yeah, it really made me laugh.
You can't forget that second. If you've done it before Gatescar, you cannot forget the second bit. That's the main bit of it, isn't it? Yeah. If you're forgetting it, then you've something really bad's gone on, and you put it to the back of your mind, aren't you? But like I say, as a 7-year-old, it's
mental.
It'd be nice to like have your thoughts projected, if that makes sense, of like your first experience up there. It's a long time ago, innit? But do you know, to see, because I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, what am I doing here? Because it's just in the middle of nowhere as well.
I was so excited. I was like a dog let off the lead. I was like, I get to run with my mum now. So I didn't care until I was going up it, and then I was struggling. But then on the way down, it was nice.
Yeah, you're a really good downhill runner, whereas I'm not. So she was off on the other side. It's quite a tricky descent as well, and she was off. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Mum always said, you don't have a mortgage to pay, you don't care.
It's very simple conversation over recent years, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to get down safely. But as a youngster, embrace that no fear attitude, because it does make a difference. Not thinking about the course or the terrain or anything like that. It's quite nice to have it. So make the most of that. Make the most of that.
And when you're 7, you're like made out of rubber, aren't you? Just bounce.
Yeah, of
bounce
course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Give me those legs any day.
yeah, because I've seen a couple of people fall over the last few years, and like, if you're of a certain age, once you fall, like, it's pretty horrific, isn't it? Really. But you step over and just carry on, don't you? Wish them well, and unless it really hurt, then you do help out, don't you?
I'm glad you covered that though.
Yeah, thank you. It didn't happen this year. I honestly helped people out this year, as every year.
Good guy. Did you both? Sorry. So did you initially you did the 50, or were you?
Dodged.
Okay. But
Because we had to qualify for this year to do the 100.
Yeah. So had you both? Sorry. So you done the 50 already previously back in? Was it 2016? Did you say?
I've done the 50 4 times.
Yeah. So was that first experience back then? 2015.
16.
16. Yeah. 4 times 50.
I know that, and you've done pretty well, haven't you, in those years?
Yeah, I've had 2 third places.
I was going to say, I knew you've been at podium with you, which is, what times have you done on there?
My fastest Lakeland 50 is 9:05.
Oh wow, that's quick.
Sugar.
That is really.
Just wanted to get under that 9 hours, but yeah, wasn't to be.
Next year.
Yeah, it's some going that. Anywhere in the 9s, I think is very, very good running. To be fair, 10s as well. It shows you can hold it. But if you're low 9s, yeah, you're a level there that's above quite a lot of people. So every credit for you, and to you, shall I say. Quite a big target there for you to have a go at it over years. That.
Yeah, I got to get a lot quicker.
Yeah, you got plenty of time, don't you? Plenty of time.
Yeah.
9 or 5.
I wasn't running that at 19, that's for sure. I wasn't even running at 19, so yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it, as well, how you've sort of pulled that out of the bag. Incredible. So the love affair with the Lake District obviously started when you went up yourself there and sort of had that experience with your mum. And then, was that always the target then from there, that you wanted to be involved in that event, as it is?
Yes, because we marshalled every year after my dad and I, so 2016 we just watched her, then 2017 all the way till last year we marshalled, and I loved it, but it was always a bit scary because it was like no one took me that seriously because I was quite young, but I knew what I was doing, and I would help everyone, and I'd always see the medals and I want a medal. I want a t-shirt that looks so cool. So then I was like, I will do it. I will do Lakeland 50. I didn't actually think I was going to do Lakeland 100. I was like, I'll do Lakeland 50. I'll get my medal. I'll get my t-shirt. I'll be happy. And I was like counting down every year. I was like, okay, 2 years to go, 1 year to go, and I'm going to do it. So yeah, I was like, it was always quite a big thing. I always wanted to do Lakeland 50 because I was really jealous. I'd be going for my little 5-mile run and then go marshal, and I'd be like, I could be doing 50 right now, and then I could get a medal. So that's why, yeah.
God.
And
had you sort of worked yourself up to a distance where you thought, the 50, I can do it comfortably, or were you just sort of just wait to have a go at it as soon as possible?
I think Mum always said you can finish the 50 by walking because you have 24 hours, so you can definitely do it, but we don't know what time we're doing. And then we did training, and I broke my foot in the February before training for the ultra. But then we saw it as a good thing, right? This is a fresh starting point before the 50. I broke it in a cross country, so I was like, great. And then I took 6 weeks off, and then we were like, okay, now we actually need to get on with it. And I think the highest we got to was 22 miles. And Mum wanted to go further, but I was like, I refuse to run a marathon distance without getting a medal. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not running any more than 22 miles. So we ran 22 miles as our longest training block. And then I was like, I was going into the 50, I'd say I was quite naive. I was like, it's going to be fun. I've run 22 miles. But we went quick, so just some food. Everyone says, it's a moving buffet, you're going to be fine. And I was like, I'm going to be fine. But then once we hit 20 miles at Mardale Head, that's when I started crying in the 50. And I was like, it might be a bit harder than I thought it was. And Mum was like, oh, I think you finally realised how hard an ultra is. And I was like, I think I have.
Especially in the Lake District.
I think I have, yeah. So I think 7-year-old me did better after Mardale Head than 18-year-old me did last year. But, yeah.
I look, because Mardale Head is pretty early on in the 50 as well, so it's quite early to start having those thoughts.
Yeah. The thing is, though, there are a lot of tiers no matter who you are at Mardale Head. It doesn't matter what race you're on or anything. There's tiers everywhere, isn't there, normally?
Because Haweswater, that is horrible, that Haweswater.
But that slog from Howtown to Mardale, just along Haweswater, it just goes on and on and on. And in the 50, we were in a train of people, weren't we? Yeah. And it was just head down, just stay with them.
Yeah. keep going,
But I think it was a lot hotter in the 50 than it was this year.
It was. And we got there, and we had not eaten or drunk enough going from Howtown to Mardale Head. And I got there and I ate 6 sandwiches. And then I start walking up Mardale Head, and I was gagging. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be sick. And I was like, I just got to keep it down. And I was like, this is the end. If I can't eat any more food after these 6 sandwiches, I'm gone. And after that, I vowed to never eat that many sandwiches.
Crusts and all. I was very impressed. Crusts and all.
I should never have eaten those crusts. I think I would have been fine without the crusts.
Fair play to you. Fair play. It's the fact that it's so steep as well. It's not like you've even got a bit of a walk for even a quarter of a mile or anything. You're literally straight up, aren't you?
Yeah. And you're breathing so heavily, like, I always choke. I'm like, trying to get crisps in, I'm like, you just can't do it.
Yeah, because it's just all like dry stuff as well, though, isn't it? It's not even had anything nice and like moist to kind of get up. It's just dry. Like this year, I noticed all the crust like skimmed pretty much all down the side before the left turn. Which it was all the crust. It was literally all the crust outside.
Never eat the crust. Never eat the crust.
Top tip.
Top tip, yeah. Yeah, what did you take out this year's 100? Don't eat crust. Don't eat crust.
It's good advice. It's good advice. There's always one thing you learn every year, every time you come away from a race.
Yeah.
With your 50 back in 2016, down that section there, you must have been shifting. Like to just constantly moving. Have you noticed it kind of get worse, that section though? Because for me, I think it's kind of falling off a bit now. I'm not saying it's a little bit rockier, but it just seems a little bit. If you go wrong, you can kind of fall off that edge a little bit easier than what it was 2, 3, 4 years ago. I know it's just natural erosion, but it just seems a little bit more brutal than it was.
I think it's really difficult. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think when you're slightly further forward in the pack. When you come down through the ferns, it's not, especially if it's rained. I know a few years it's been really wet. If you're further ahead in the pack, you don't seem to suffer with all the mud so much.
Yeah.
And I think those people further back really struggle coming down through that bit and then before you get to the rockier section. But I just know, I just switch off from it. I just kind of, when I'm on my own, not with you, but like just shut my sort of mind to it and just go, just keep going. You're going to get there eventually. I try not to look up because you can almost see the checkpoint in the distance.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't get any closer. So I'm like, just don't look at it. Just head down. Keep going. Don't fall over because I do that a lot. Every race, fall over.
Yeah. That's a bad bit down there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best bit. I think everyone hates that section, don't they?
You do. I think it tends to be. Yeah.
I think everybody, yeah.
Which it is weird. But Thea, so you've gone from Lakeland 1 in 2016, and you were 7 years old then? 7 or 8?
Yeah, I would have been 7 or 8, yeah.
Right, so what were your mindset going into that? Were you racing that in terms of, as a child, going, do you know what, I fancy a go at this? Is that what you...
Yeah. I think I used to be quite nervous because obviously I was a girl and there were a lot of like big guys who would race. Well, they were big to me, they're probably only at 16, but still. And I was a bit nervous, so I'd stay further back. But then as I got older, I was like, I want to come first girl. So I was racing, because it used to be when the mile would go on the road.
Yeah.
So I would like properly race it. And I came second one year, and I think I came first another year, first got home. And I was like properly racing. But I would just imagine, I was like, I've got to beat the boys. And like, yeah, so I was definitely racing as a child in the Lakeland one. I took it very seriously. Very seriously.
He is the most competitive person you will ever meet. So my husband Phil, her dad, he's very competitive, good sportsman, super competitive. I'm super competitive. So she's like competitive on steroids. And we used to get school reports come back saying like, oh, Thea's always changed for sport the first. Like as a 4 or 5-year-old, she would be the quickest to get changed and unchanged in and out of her like ballet clothes. First to get a homework done, first to get the classwork done, always had to be first. And even now, if we're running and we get to we come back to the car, she always shoulders me. I won. We're just running back to the car. Yeah, but I won. Were we racing? Everything she does is competitive.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know you're in a competition with her, she's she has a little private competition with you. Like that Lakeland 1, Lakeland 50, all of that, and I think she knew obviously she was going to be the youngest because she'd grown up seeing the youngest person in the race, and she'd figured out, obviously being a July birthday, that when it came to doing the 50, that her why to do it was so strong because she knew she was going to be pretty much the youngest ever, and you got to be within 6 days, 7 days, yeah, something like that. That she might hold on to that record for a long time. So that was your sort of why, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you're going to need someone now. What's your birthday in July?
The 14th of July.
Right, so realistic now, like the chance of... So it's either they're going to be super competitive parents who are going to try and time that perfectly well now to have a child within them thinking, or you just got a random... But then what is it like? Say there's 10 days, isn't there, pretty much?
Yeah.
So the chance of someone coming along and then doing the 1 and then the 50 and then now the 100 within that space is very slim, isn't it? That could be there for a long time, that record.
We can hope.
Hopefully.
You'd be unlucky if someone came along over the next 10 years and kind of snuck in and had a 20th of July birthday, wouldn't you? It'd be unlucky that. It would be unlucky.
Darn it. Oh.
Be funny if you knew him as well. Did I?
Yeah.
So, you obviously, at that point, completed the 50, you did it together.
Yes.
So, what and who crossed the line first?
Yeah, what's the chip
I
time
think
with that lot?
that time the chip time was the same, but for the 100, my mum beat me by 2 seconds.
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
not fair.
Dipped at the line.
I had that with the guy I finished with. He was 5 seconds ahead. I was like, we came through together. You know, like, and I think there was 2 positions between me and him. I was like, what's going on there?
Yeah, but they are the 50 exact same time. But I'll have to say I beat her age group by 1 position. I think I came 27th in my age group and she came 28th in her age group. But it was because I made her stop to go to the toilet on the way down from Tibbles Way.
Yeah, get off the rocky bit of Tibbles Way, and she goes, "Oh, I need to go for a wee," and I'm like, "What? We're nearly at the finish." And I need to go. I'm like, and these like 40s are coming past me. It's like, thanks.
It was tactical, so I could beat.
She knew, didn't she?
She knew. Mum, I'm going to beat you at something.
That's brilliant, that. So going back to the 50 with it, right? So you've done the 1, you've decided you're then going into the 50 together. Like, what's your... Obviously, the training run, you've done 22 mile. Was your process just a case of, it doesn't matter how we get round here, we're going to do it together no matter what, we stick together? Is that how you kind of went into it?
Yeah, I wouldn't know the course well enough to do it without my mum. It was my first ultra. I kind of wanted her there just to be like, I think the 50, I was a bit out away with the fairies. I'd be like, Mum would be like, are you drinking? Are you eating? Eat something. Like, we get to a checkpoint, she'd be like, eat some. Like, she would be very on it. She'd be like, you need to eat more salt, so have some crisps. So I needed my mum there for the 50, definitely.
Yeah, I think I had to manage you, but I just had to keep a real close eye on, because you'd never experienced it. And obviously as a parent, you're just like, I was micromanaging you, I suppose, on that one.
Yeah. Although that did kind of suffer to her.
Yeah, because I kept thinking, she might run out of fluid, especially along that hawse water. Oh, I'll save some of my fluid. And then I started to get a bit dizzy and a bit nauseous, which I don't normally get nausea and I don't normally get dizzy. And I kept thinking, I've got to finish. How are we going to finish if I feel like this? But I just saving my fuel just in case, saving my water just in case.
Which I didn't need.
No, you didn't.
But it was nice.
As a parent.
But it was good to have my mum there, I'd say. But we're definitely also quite different runners. Like, you like to run on your own a lot, whereas I definitely like to talk to people. So coming out of Kentmere, when we were both struggling there in the 50, I was finding people to talk to, and I was like going up the hill talking to people, and you were just kind of...
I was at the back.
Don't talk to me.
We are different runners, but we're quite good together, I'd say. I mean, she has to slow down a lot for me, but she can't complain.
I can't complain. The company's good.
I think it's lovely that though. It's really nice, isn't it? That I don't think you see that a lot, do you? That sort of parent-child thing, and I totally understand where you're coming from there, because you would be constantly worried, wouldn't you, about basically. I was just going to ask you that. How would you feel about letting Thea go off on her own and run the 50, and you run your own race? Would that be something where you'd be constantly worrying, you think?
Previously I was, but she's since done an ultra on her own in Scotland, and did really well, paced it well, fueled it well. So actually, I think now she's a bit more clued up about fueling and stuff. So I'm a bit less worried about you.
Also, I think I feel...
But you might get lost.
No, it was you.
Something's gone on here,
I
hasn't it?
I felt better as well. The 100, I don't think you needed to help me as much in. Like, I was much better at being like, I'm going to get Chris, I was actually quicker in checkpoints. In the 50, I slowed you down massively in checkpoints, but this time I'd say I was a lot quicker in and out those checkpoints. I was ready to go. So.
Yeah, fair play. Unbelievable.
It's mental. But at 18, it's like, I look back to kind of what I was doing at 18, just kind of playing football, going out and everything else, and it's a completely different world that you're involved in. And I think as you grow older, you kind of, I'd be saying I'm slightly jealous of your position now that you've got as like a 19-year-old going through what you've been through already, in the sense of like, you're so young and you've got so much to kind of look forward to in this world. I think it's brilliant that you're in the situation you're in, really. Completing the 50 and the 100 and basically going, well, I can do whatever I want now, because you are in that position, aren't you, really?
But that's the problem now, so where are you going to stop? It's just going to keep going.
The Lakeland 500.
Several people said to you, didn't you? Yeah. Oh, what next? Oh, you've got to be the youngest slate winner.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But I need a minute before I can do the 100 again. That was a rough patch.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 100. That's why we're here. We want to know about this experience, don't we? Obviously, you three have had it. I haven't. I've not made that step up yet. Maybe when I grow up a little bit, theoretically.
You can join the gang.
Yeah.
They can help take you out. I'm sure if they'll be able to take you out. Make sure you have your Chris Stevens.
Someone's going to get me lost out of these two. I don't know.
I think they both got lost at some point. They're just like not admitting it.
But I mean, it's just a huge step up, and I'd honestly massive respect to both of you, just taking in your stride and going and getting it done and looking so well now. It's like, you know, it's inspiring to see anyway. So I mean, from entering, the point where you decided to do it, was you sort of, what was your thought process behind it? Because it's a huge distance, and then obviously talk us up to race day. How you felt?
Well, so Mark obviously said, you've got a qualifying time from the 50, you're going to do the 100, and I don't think that you had any doubt in your mind. You were like, yeah, of course.
Brilliant.
And I'm sort of behind it going, oh my God, getting me through the 50 was like challenging enough, and 100, I mean, I was just like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah, because
you vowed after your first 100 you would never do it again.
The first time I actually completed Lakeland 100, I remember it got to 75 miles, and I'm like, I'm going to finish this beast because I never want to come back and ever put myself through this again. And then when she was like, yeah, let's do it, I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it. How can I say no? Because you're going to do it anyway, and I need to be there. I need to micromanage you around it. So then Thea's obviously gone off to uni. She's at St Andrews. So the training was not ideal because St Andrews isn't as hilly as you think.
No, it's not hilly at all. And I've definitely suffered with hills. But then Mum always said to me, she was like, well, in the 100 you walk more of the hills, so it's okay. Because in the 50 we were doing like hill sessions so that I could still run some of the hills, but you obviously walk more in the 100. So I was like, it's going to be okay. And we did 2 trips away. So we went to the Cairngorms for one trip in the Scottish Highlands, and then we went to the Lake District actually for our other trip, for 4 days of like running. And I did the long run on every single day, and I was like, that should be okay enough training.
This is with the university running club.
So I was like, that'll be okay training. And Mum's my like ultra coach. Like, I'm actually cross country captain at uni, so I'm meant to be the coach of the uni students. But then Mum's my ultra running coach, so she planned me sessions, and we basically said from January we were going to do a slow build up. And you do what, 3 weeks and then 1 week down?
Yeah, so we'd have a 3-week build and then a little sort of drop off just to allow recover, and then another little 3-week build. And you got 20 odd miles?
Yeah, 20 miles. And I am very like strict. Like, I do not miss a run. I do not miss a session. I think it comes from my competitiveness. I'd say it's a little bit of an obsession. I refuse. If she puts on the training plan, run like 4 to 6 miles, I'm doing 6 miles, because that's what in my head, that's what's been written.
Yeah.
So it would be things like that. She'd say 18 miles, and I'd be like, that's actually going to be 30k, because I don't want to finish, and everyone who has their Strava in kilometers sees I did 29k. So I'd be struggling on a run. I'd be crying at 12 miles. I'd be like, Mum, I'm really struggling with this one. She's like, you don't have to go the whole way. And then she'd see my Strava and she'd be like, yeah, you ran 18.7 miles. You didn't even need to do that 0.7. I was like, but I did. So I never ever miss a session, like, ever. So like, she has to be very good with her training to make sure I'm not overtraining.
I have to be really careful with her, because she's not very good at saying, you know, oh, I feel a bit tired. She's going to do it regardless. So you are a tricky person to coach, because you're so motivated. I never need to say, come on, we need to get out the door. It's more like, come back, sit down, put your legs up, have some food, you know, chill out.
So our training was going quite well. We went to Pitlock Green in April. Yeah, in April, and that's when we did our like peak training week. And then I was meant to have a little deload. I walked the West Highland Way in 6 days, and Mum said that was good for time on my feet and hiking and all of that. And I carried a bag because we wild camped the whole way, and then I was fine. And I came home and I was meant to have a week recovery, and then we were meant to get onto it, and then I fell off a quad bike and I injured my knee, and I actually thought I'd torn my meniscus. So I was devastated. I was like, I'm not going to be able to run Lakeland 100. I was so upset.
So that was with 7 weeks to go.
Oh, Jesus.
I got a text message saying, don't be angry at me, but I think I've torn my meniscus. So this was about, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd been at a friend's farm on the back of a quad bike. And I was like, oh dear, sounds bad. 11 o'clock, the front doorbell goes, and I'm in bed, and I'm like, we never use the front door. We just always use the back door, that typical, back door's open, just come around. So I was like, I laid in bed for a bit longer. Doorbell's going. And I was like, came downstairs, opened the door. The size of her knee was like the size of her head. The tears were flowing, and I was like, oh dear, this is not looking very good. And I'm a physio, so I was a bit like, okay, come on, here we go, let's go and have a little look. So I'm trying to test the knee. She's screaming in agony, and I'm like, meniscus or ACL, one or the other. Lakeland is not happening. In my head, I'm thinking Lakeland's not happening. But don't tell her that. It's fine. Tomorrow the swelling will go. Don't worry, get some ice on it. Go to bed, try and sleep, have some paracetamol.
So we went to minor injuries next day,
yeah.
And then he looked at it and he was like, no, I think 3 weeks off running, 3 weeks of just kind of sitting down, doing your knee exercises, and you should be fine. But I was like, what about an ultra? And he's like, maybe, you'll have to see based on running. And after that, I was like, yes, okay, we're gonna have to do it. We have to do it. And a week later, we'd booked to go to the Lake District to do our peak training week, which was meant to be 73 miles, and that was not happening. And we got to Coniston, and Mum was meant to be going for a run, and I was like, do you think I can join you? Do you think I can come for a walk? So we hiked the first bit to Seathwaite, 7 miles, and uphill was completely fine. I was using the poles, I was feeling completely fine, no pain in my knee, and then we started the downhill, and I was in agony, and I refused to tell her because I'm going to get her. So I refused. I was like, can I have your poles? And I was trying to go down that really long descent, and I was in so much pain. She's like, it flattens out in a minute. It did not flatten out. I was in so much pain, and I was like, how on earth am I going to do this? But by the end of the week, we had done actually about a mile jog downhill. We had decided not to do the rest of the course because it was too hard to do it. So we hiked Catbells, and that was fine. I could do uphill, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to tell myself Lakeland 100 is mostly uphill and I should be able to do it. So it was mostly, I could do uphills, but downhills were still really painful, and you were taping my knee, and it was still quite painful. But then we did a mile jog, and I was like, okay.
There's like Grisdale Pike as well, and your climbing was fine, but the descending was really tough, and that was playing on my mind. I was just thinking, there's a lot of downhill, there's a lot of gnarly downhill in Lakeland 100, and it's just like, well, all we can do is just keep training for it, and if we don't make it to the start line, we don't make it to the start line. But
yeah, and then we were fine, and we came home, and we started picking up our training, and everything was all good. And then I had a heart rate problem because I have low iron, and so I had to start taking iron tablets, and there was a whole kerfuffle trying to get a blood test to find out if it was definitely low iron that was causing my heart rate. And you were going, you're not going to be able to do this race. You're not going to be able to start this race because I'm not taking you out there with your high heart rate.
Well, I just felt like the universe now is telling us Lakeland is not happening this year. What, the knee, the heart rate problem, it's just like, what are we doing? The universe is shouting at us, let's not go. But, there's no way she was not going to even stand on that start line. And we're going to Lakeland anyway because we marshal, volunteer, feels like they're at the finish. So we're going regardless. So we might as well get on the start line. And the
heart rate did start assessing. But when it was bad, I just felt like I was at 18 miles into the marathon hitting the wall. We were running, and I was like, this pace is the slowest I've ever run in my entire life, and I feel like I'm doing a max out 5k right now. It was awful, and I was really, really struggling, and I think the heat wasn't helping, but I was really
doing that sort of heat wave.
So we were like, okay, iron tablets, spinach, steak, we're like, all of the iron we could possibly have, I will have, because I'm getting to this start line. And then one day it just kind of stopped being that much of a problem.
I don't know if you had an underlying virus or something going on, but it was a period of time that just you couldn't run. You're like, you were so slow, and I'm like, slow down, and I'm looking at my watch and thinking, I could walk.
No sympathy.
It's an interesting one though, isn't it? Because it's like, you could have had a pint of Guinness as well. That's full of iron in it. That's meant to be quite
old
good.
Enough as well.
Now you've hit 80. Yeah, it's a funny one, that, isn't it? Because it's good point for people to look out for. Because even if you are super fit, these things can affect you, and you don't often know what it is, and it can worry you quite a lot, and you think you're just dropping in pace, but sometimes it is just a virus, like you said, Jess. It can be anything, can't it? And so you gradually just felt like you came through that, did you, and sort of felt back to normal. It's so strange, isn't it?
was. And then I was suddenly better. And then it was the day before Lakeland, we went on a run and it felt like that all over again. We did a 5k run, and we've done that route so many times as we did that as our shakeout for our 50, and I've done that route before, and I got back and it was like the slowest I've ever done this run by like 2 minutes, like per mile, and I was like, I feel awful. I'm never going to be able to run Lakeland 100. The day before I was like, that's when all the doubts kicked in. I felt like fine in training. Mum was telling me, like, you might, like, I know you've got your high heart rate, but you might not be able to start. And I was like, nah. And the day before I was like, well, maybe I won't be able to start. I feel awful.
God, man.
Everyone feels like that the day before.
Yeah,
You didn't.
It
felt fine.
It seems like a bit of a mental build-up.
What a lead-up, yeah.
I can't believe you're getting on a quad. Come on, like, you've got to be a bit more sensible than that before Lakeland. You know, like.
That's what I've been so sensible. And my friend's like, you'll be fine. We do this all the time. No one ever falls off.
Straight off.
They've not got 105 miles to run, have they, in a few weeks after it? So it's fine for them, isn't it? It's fine.
Yeah,
I was so worried, like with her coaching. I just don't want to injure her. I don't want her to end up with any sort of like physical injury from my coaching.
Yeah.
So I was so careful, and then she did it herself anyway. So I was like, at least it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I would have been so angry.
Bit of a weight off it, that really, and it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, definitely.
There's always so much you can control in there. There's always so much. So basically, you've led up to the 100, you're not feeling the best, you're not ready for it, your mind's going a little bit. But then, what were you like on the start? Kind of how was you build up in the sense of what did you do with the day? Like, what was your plan in terms of getting into the pen? Did you want to get to the front, want to be at middle? Are you just there to listen to Ness and Dormer? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
I wanted to be middle back. I was like, we're not the slowest people in the entire world. I know there's people who do try like walk the 100. So I was like, I want to be middle back. And Mum's like, we're at the middle back. When we got to that tiny gate, we stood there for 15 to 20 minutes. And I looked behind me, and there's probably only about like 20 people behind us. I was like, how slow could we possibly have gone from the start line to be stuck here for so long? Oh my God, I wanted to enjoy my 100 experience, and I was like, I did not enjoy it until we got out of Seathwaite, until I started talking to people, because I was like, we're going to get timed out. I was like, we are going to get, everyone says you need to get to at least like Braithwaite before you're like going too slow, and I'm like, we're going to get timed out, we're never going to be able to get back up this front, we're stuck behind all these people, and we're never going to get there, and now my race is ruined, because you then
In the first 2 miles, she's already panicking, and I was like, I didn't want to start too far up, because I know what it's like, and I did not want us to be pushed along. That beginning, because when you're running with fast people, you're so narrow, you're just going to get pushed along. So my plan was, look, we'll hang back. I know we've got enough time. I've never seen that congestion at that bridge before, because I was always been a bit further ahead, so I didn't actually realise. And I did start thinking, to try and do the calculations in my head, but I knew once we got on there we'd be absolutely fine. But yeah, so we did start a bit closer to the back than probably we should have done. But what that then meant was we kept like little trains. We were a carriage that would join the back of a group, and then we'd have a chat with those people, and then we'd pass through the group, and then we'd be on our own, and then we'd catch up with the next group. So actually, at least I think starting a bit slower meant that starting to overtake people coming into the first night and into the dark was quite a boost.
It was good for us.
And we weren't like pushing the pace or anything, but yeah. So yeah, the start, we probably could have started a bit closer to the front.
Just a little bit.
But the crowd, oh my goodness, I have never seen the crowds like that through Coniston. You know, normally you get round through the Black Ball and then it sort of peters out, doesn't it? But all the way up that road, it was like I was beaming. I was like, I felt famous. No one was cheering my name. I felt famous. I was like, there is no other start like it. I mean, I've done London Marathon a few times, and like, wow, the start, that's great, but wow, just running through Coniston was incredible.
It seemed a bit more personal when it's Coniston as well. I know you've got big crowds at London and your big marathons, but Coniston seems to be like there's only 800 people that start, so you're there. They're there for kind of you or the people that are doing the 50, aren't they?
That's it, and everyone's looking out for their families, and it's just what a start.
It's a mad start, but you are like Thea. I understand you with the gate. I started pretty much, I think 5-6 rows back this time, and in my head I was like, I could push for a mile, get through that gate, get to the top of Walnut, and I could just settle in there, and that saved me probably 15 minutes on my first mile compared to last time I did it.
Oh, really?
And realistically, it wasn't really that much effort. It was just basically running from the Black Bull up to the gate at an easy pace, and then up to top Wallascott, and I could settle in from there. But like, because I think I got to Seathwaite at the same time as what I did in 2023 with moving slower, pretty much just getting through that gate. It's not pretty. That it's not the. I enjoy that bit of the course with the fans and everything, but that is chaos. That 10-15 minutes, and you are panicking a little bit in the sense of going, this first mile might take me half an hour, for example. Where if you look at whoever's at front pack, they might be 3-4 miles in by the time you've got to the first mile. So I understand that, but it does clear after that, doesn't it?
It opens up.
We had like because I didn't want to be stressed about cut-offs, but I was mentally quite stressed, so we'd written out like a 36-hour cut-off, so I knew if we'd like dropped off of it, we were still well within the time. And I was just thinking about the time we were meant to be hitting Seathwaite at to be at this 36 hours, and I was like, we're not gonna get there. And then to make it even worse, you never go to the toilet. We get to Seathwaite, she's like, I really need the toilet. I was like, no you don't. She's like, I really need the toilet. I was like, you can wait till boot. I was like, I'm waiting till boot, you can wait till boot. She's like, I can't wait. So I was like standing around at Seathwaite, and it was a queue. The time ticked by.
A massive queue.
We were meant to be in at about like 1:37, and at this point it's already at 1:50, and I'm like, come on. And then I was like, you got out of the toilet. I was like, let's go. She was like, no, I need some food and some water. I was like, can you take it to go? She's like, yeah, in a second. I was like watching the time ticking by, thinking we're never going to get to boom. We're just going to get timed out at this rate. I've never been so stressed. I couldn't settle in until I knew we were going to be back on target times.
But that's experience, and that comes like you've done it before. You know the pace you can move at, and you're obviously a bit more composed in the sense of you know how fast you can get there, don't you? You know, and you'll know now that you can move. You think you have to move at a pace. There's people walking at the back in 39 hours. As long as they're behind you, like you don't have to worry about the pace you're moving. Basically,
that's true. That is true.
But that takes a little bit of experience to kind of just be calm with that and understand that process really. But I like the panic. It's good that.
I didn't feel it at the time. Like, I'm usually quite chatty, but I was like, I'm not talking to anyone because I need to overtake you, because then at least I know other people will have to be timed out as well.
So competitive,
that.
Yeah, it's funny. I love that you've got like 103 miles to go, and you're still like, "Oh my god, we need to really focus on this. Get this first 2 miles done." There's still a long way to go at that point. I get it though. I get it, because I think people do chase the time, don't they? A bit. I mean, even like we were saying earlier around Haweswater, you know, you're checking your watch there, thinking, "I'm stuck behind somebody," and then can I ask them to move out of the way? And you know, you do start overthinking it a little bit, don't you, around that? So I totally understand.
Yeah, and you can on that undercourse you can do, but it does. Once you've got like to boot, and then you're going through the night towards like Blacksail and everything, it settles in there. You're kind of controlling your own pace, aren't you? You're settling in. But how was that kind of going into the first night for you? Because I think I had it in the dark by, I can't remember the turn on the left. I was kind of just coming up to that and then coming into Blacksail when it became dark, and it was quite a nice moment coming into there really.
We put our head torches on at boot, and they literally had to go on after about 5 minutes. And then we were heading up. I'm not very good at remembering the course, but coming to that tarn with the head torches on, it almost made the grass look like 4D.
Yeah,
it was just something in that air that night. The grass was so bizarre to look at.
Or like if you look too long, I thought I was gonna like fall over. It's not a nice feeling.
I'm glad you said that, because it's a weird sensation. So when I was running and I didn't have the head torch on, I found it easier. But people behind me were shining the reflection, which then I couldn't see, so I had to put it on. But you're right. There was a point where you're running and you can't really tell where your feet were going on the grass. The stone was fine, but the grass was like.
The grass was really tricky.
Yeah, I took a lot of time through that, because I was like, I'm getting to Blacksail now. I'm getting there in one piece. But yeah, it's weird, really.
Yeah. So that's where we were overtaking, or joining groups and then leaving groups and joining groups, and that was probably one of our favourite parts of the course. And I fell 2 years ago when I did the 100. I fell coming down into Wasdale. You know, it's not a bad descent really, and I just caught a toe, went down really heavily, fell off into the bracken, and had split both knees open, and then got to the checkpoint, and then the medics there sprayed some chlorhexidine in my knees, which made me scream, and then I thought I could, so I wanted to get past that point in one piece without falling over. And once we got to Wasdale and then out there, it was good. I love that night section.
That was my favourite bit because we never run in the night. We used to run very early in the morning, so it'd be getting lighter, but I've never done it the other way. So I was actually excited for the first night, and I think that made the first night really fun for me. Obviously, we started so far back, we were overtaking people, and I was feeling quite strong on climbs. Like Blacksail was probably actually my favourite bit, full stop. Like I really enjoyed the climb up Blacksail. I felt really good going up it. We were just chatting away. Like we were chatting a lot. And then I turned around and Mum always says like Blacksail's so gorgeous to watch the lights coming up, and I was like, I took a second, I was like, wow, it really is. And I had to get my phone out and I was trying to film whilst hiking up because we were in a really long queue, and I was like filming backwards. I actually got a good video. I was quite proud of myself. That was my favourite part, was going up Blacksail Pass. Yeah.
It's a nice area, but it is, on the other side of it, for a lot of people, it is the tougher section in terms of you go to Blacksail and you drop down, you climb up the other side of Buttermere, I don't know what it's called, and then you're down into Buttermere. Like you were saying, the climbs, you're strong on them, but with your injury and everything else coming down descents, the descents there are pretty brutal. Blacksail, followed by the one into Buttermere. If you're not confident, they can be really tough, them, can't they? And kind of take a toll on you early on in the race.
I think the descent for me was the best it's been because it was so dry. Yeah. It's normally so boggy and slippery off that Blacksail descent. But actually this year being dry, I think it was a bit better. Although everyone says stay to the right, and listen to the the water. You want to stay there, but there wasn't a lot of water to listen to this year. It was so dry.
But it is it's a magic thing. And then Buttermere from there, that for me, Buttermere to Braithwaite is. It's tough going that, in the sense of it's relentless, and then you've got like that 25% gradient that kicks up at the end.
Yes, and then the descent off of that was really slippery. I don't know if you found that. The gravel on that descent, we had a guy behind us nearly went off the edge. He lost his footing, and he was 2 runners behind us. Yeah, and we turned around and he was hanging on for dear life off the edge. And I know in the daylight that's a sheer drop.
Yeah, it is.
And, he picked himself up.
Yeah, and then he just ran past us.
Brushed himself off, and off he ran, and we were like, oh.
Mum was like, maybe we should just walk.
We'll just walk this bit, yeah. We'll just hang on to the rocks and walk this bit.
Not worth it. Yeah. Not worth it.
There was probably 2 ladies behind us. We were like, you can overtake. They're like, we'll be the sensible gender. we'll just walk.
Which is right, though, isn't it? What was it like? What was it like getting to Braithwaite for you? When I got in there was a couple of very sorry souls on the left-hand side, and as we spoke about on the Sunday, I took that for me as I look much better than them, and I was like, I left there looking confident. They look a mess. I was like, I feel great compared to them, so I'm going to leave and kind of crack on.
So we came into the checkpoint, and I recognised 2 people straight away that I know. One a really good runner, a female runner, and a male that's local to us. And I looked at them, and they'd obviously dressed up in all their kit, and that's it, they're done. And we went in there, ate some pasta.
I don't remember any of this then.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of this.
Ate some pasta, and then we were back out onto the A66.
Oh, I loved the A66.
And the A66, I don't know if you saw this, but there were a lot of vomit spots all the way down the A66. I was like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
I just
remember
they run out too quick. They just run too fast after checkpoint, and I think they had chocolate milkshakes in there, loads of liquids, and there was like I said, there were 2 or 3 leading up to the bus stop, which was probably only 400 metres down.
It's all just coming back out again.
Yeah, and it weren't the best. And I'd never seen it like that before, but obviously people are kicking on from there thinking, oh, I feel great, and then realising that they weren't so great.
And there were 2 guys just ahead of us who turned right off the A66 like so quickly, and I'm like, no, we've got to go a long way down this A66 before we turn off of it. All the way to like the barrier, and I don't know if they rejoined.
They did. I looked behind. I was like, "Oh, you coming?" I liked that bit though because my quads had seized after about I don't even know where, but my quad seized probably at 20 miles because we did no quad work because of my knee. I couldn't do any strength training, which is the one thing I regret. Is I wish I'd done more quads, but I couldn't. So I was in pain from there. So I was shuffling along the A66. But we could actually run there because obviously it's tarmac, it's flat. I didn't fear I was going to fall over or anything. So I felt quite good there. We were just like
running along there, didn't we?
Shuffling all the way along there, and then both of us were like, oh, we should probably eat, or we should both of us needed a toilet, but we're just going to keep running until we can't run anymore. And everyone said, we called it the 3 Bs, Buttermere, Braithwaite and Blencathra. We were like, we're going to run as much as possible up till then. Even if we're struggling a bit, we're going to run as much as possible up till then. So along the A66, we were like, just run. And then those people caught us, but it's fine. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
I thought we were going so quick, and then we got caught by like a group of like 6 people, and I was like, oh, maybe we
That was at Glencathra.
That was going towards that.
Yeah. So where did you get the sunrise at then? I was pretty much just up Lattrig, give or take. So you must have overtaken me somewhere along this line now, because I know we saw each other at Dockery, didn't we?
Yeah.
50 mile in.
Along the thingy one.
Glencathra, along that. I don't know
That
what that valley's called.
Right, yeah, because I think I was like on the Lattrig and then the horseshoe sort of section. It was like just on that roughly sort of thing. But it was nice. That horseshoe was lovely on that morning. Windy,
That's one of my favourite spots. Yeah. But I love the fact that when you come along the other side, I mean, obviously Thea's panicking, we're so far at the back. But I was like, look up, and you can still see people who've still got to go, 2 miles, and then before they cross back over and come back. So I'm like, look at all those people, they've still got to do what we've just done.
And at this point, I thought we were miles off getting anywhere near like the 36-hour point. I thought we were going to be like hanging on to cut-offs. And then this man caught us, and he was like, oh, we're going the pace roughly we did last year, and I did it in 35 hours, and he stopped for an hour at Dalemain. And I was like, oh, like I suddenly felt a bit better. I was like, oh, maybe we are actually making good time, because I had no concept of time at this point. Like I'd be checking our like sheet of paper at each checkpoint, like, oh, we arrived kind of on time, but I didn't believe myself. I was like, maybe these timings are wrong. Maybe my mathematical calculations are wrong. So when that guy saw us, it was actually quite nice.
Yeah, it was quite boosted.
And along there, quite a few people recognised me as the youngest runner. So quite a few people had spoken to me by that point, and they were just like, oh, you're doing really good. And like, I mean, there was a little bit of a pressure on, because some people would be like, oh, my son or my daughter just ran Lakeland 1, and they said they want to run like you when they're older. And so then I'm like, I have to finish. I didn't ever think I wasn't going to finish, but it just was a bit more. I was like, oh my God, now these people are watching me. I have to finish. And I don't know, maybe it would have been nice for people not to know me, but I liked that people spoke to me. So
yeah, bit of fame, innit? Were you checking when they were on about the kids? We were like, well, what are the date of birth? They're like, are they in July, or because you could have just gone, well, they're in June, so it don't really matter.
The record's safe.
So at this point, so you're at Blencathra, you're setting off on Blencathra. Are you coming to the second morning, the first morning? So are you tired there? Or are you feeling a bit of fatigue? Because for me, I was tired during night, but then with the sunrise, Blencathra, a cup of tea and a bit of toast and that, I felt pretty good leaving there towards Dockery really. But I know a lot of people I saw were starting to feel the not having the sleep during the first night.
I think I felt fine after like the first night. Maybe uni student, I felt fine, like no sleep. And I think the start of the morning, I kind of forgot we went through the night. I was just like, it just felt like a new fresh day. I kind of felt like I'd slept. I don't know why. I just felt quite good that morning. Yeah. But that's when I think I stopped. I struggled to eat at that point. Like I was gagging after Blencathra. I'm pretty sure going into it was after Blencathra. Yeah. I was like actually gagging. I thought I was going to be sick again.
And you had a bit of toast, and you said, oh, can I have some peanut butter on toast? Get me a bit of peanut butter on toast. So I said, have you got any peanut butter? And they're like, no, just jam. So you just had a dry bit of bread, and you were like,
I had one
no jam.
And I turned back, went back to the checkpoint and put it all in the bin. And I was like, I couldn't get the bread down. And then after that, I was like, I can't eat anymore. And you're like, well, you're going to have to. Like, we got so far left. Okay, I'm just going to have to take a minute. But yeah,
it's hard though, isn't it? I think like once you've been, especially in the night, trying to kind of keep stuff down and eat stuff. I mean, what were you on a lot of solid food then? Because you mentioned pasta as well before. Did you chuck gels in the mix as well, or what?
We did mostly gels for the first half. I'd say I just kept having my gels. And the bad thing was I started the race quite hungry. I actually had already eaten something from my pack on the start. I got really hungry. I had one of my peanut butter bars, which I wish I'd saved because that's my favourite thing to eat, even if I'm not enjoying eating, so I should have not eaten that. But we were doing a lot of gels, and then I got sick of the sweet gels and the sugary coating on my lips. Yeah. So the pasta felt really good, and then after that, last time Coke got me through the 50, and this time Coke was making me feel sick again. But I was like, I have to get it in. I have to get the Coke in. And then we had one jam sandwich, and they'd over jammed it, so then I couldn't eat any more jam sandwiches. I couldn't eat any more jam sandwiches after I was ahead because there was too much jam, and now the thought of jam was making me feel sick, so I was like, I can't have any more jam sandwiches. So I think the only thing that wasn't making me feel sick was pasta, but that's obviously not in many places. But we got to pastas and soups by the end. I think that's what we did.
Yeah, the soup was really good on the way around as well.
I think my only complaint was I wanted more things like oranges and watermelon, but it was either run out by the time we got there or it was just checkpoints didn't have that fresh fruit, which was quite upsetting because I'd be like, I really, really fancy an orange, and we get there and they'd be like, no, we've run out. And I'm like, no.
People they go through them though quick though, don't they? I must admit, I was stood at Mardale Head by a tray, just kept eating the orange peels. The guy was like, please you move away from the tray.
Wait, tray.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's
I
my
thought a tray outside.
yeah, could be me that. Sorry about that.
But I think it is all like you do see people like they get obsessed with one thing, like the watermelon and the oranges are so refreshing. Because I think where I saw you at Dockery, you looked all right. To be fair, we were just hovering around the toilets for a little bit.
That's why we had super Dockery.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really enjoyed was sugary tea. I really enjoyed having sugary tea. So at almost every checkpoint, we'd stop and like get a sugary tea.
And then aftertaste of soup because you've just had soup in it and now you've got tea in it and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Dockery wasn't too bad. I think I did struggle on the Old Coach Road though. There were more tears there, and then you were trying to tell me like, you're doing okay, like, don't beat yourself up. And I was like, I feel so stupid for crying, but I'm in so much pain. And you were like, no. And I was at a very low point, and there were loads of people ahead of us. And then we were just like, let's just try running. And we actually overtook most people. And then when we overtake people, the competitive side kicks in. I feel a bit better. I'm like, what? I'm doing better than these people now. So, and then we thought the Dockery checkpoint was where it used to be.
Oh yeah.
And we got there, and she's like, yeah, we're here.
And just about second words, that's where the checkpoint is. And then we get there, it's like, oh, it's moved, isn't it?
And it's like it's a mile extra in it, but it is downhill to be fair, so it's not too bad.
And actually, it works out quite well because you're not leaving a checkpoint and then running straight downhill on stiff legs. So I think it is a better place for that checkpoint.
Yeah.
So we felt pretty good there.
Yeah, it felt right.
It does start getting a bit mental. So the Dockery's at 50 mile, and I was looking around that checkpoint, and I was still with it to be fair. But like people, you can just tell it starts getting. I'm not saying weird, but the vibe starts changing where people are actually thinking about dropping out now. They've got a lot of doubts in their minds.
Get into Dale Main.
They might not get it because the woman that I don't know if you were there at that point, but there was a woman that came out of the toilet. She's like, "Oh, all I do is have a poo," and the guy was like, "Well, we can clap if you want, see if it comes out." And she left like laughing. You could tell just even a little bit of just messing about, kind of perked her up a little bit. But I got in and out of there as quick as I could because there was a few people sat down again. And I was like, I need to get out of that vibe because people start. I'm not saying bring you down, but if you start speaking to the negative people, leave them to one side. That's my advice on the 100. Get away from them as quick as you can.
The vibe wasn't that good there, to be honest. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I know it's just trying to be funny, but I hate seeing the signs that are like, you're not even halfway there. I already felt awful.
It could be raining. Like, it's going to rain. We know it's going to rain in a minute anyway. Like,
especially because when we got to the halfway of like 52.5, that was the furthest I'd ever run, and I was like, wow, I've done 2.5 miles more than I've ever run, and I've got to do that all over again, and I'm already crying from the pain I'm in, and I have to do this all over again. I was not celebrating at halfway. I was actually just dreading the thought, like, I actually have that to go. I
don't think you enjoyed Dockery to Dale Main. It's one of the longest, isn't it? It's like 10 miles nearly.
Yeah. And I think it's made out to be quite an easy section, and like there's quite a few little sharp climbs in that and roads that you think, oh, I should be moving a bit quicker here, and I think you're kind of forced to run a little bit more than what you might do normally because it's flat and there's a bit of road. But I think once you get to 56, 57 mile and you're coming into that estate at 58 mile and the castle's there, I got excited then. As in, like, look, I've done the hard bit in the sense of that first bit's done. I can come in, I can get changed, I can reset, and like family, friends are going to be there. 50 runners, well, I probably only caught 50 of them at that point, but it was the fact that I could then start picking people off towards the back of the 50, which kind of egged me on a little bit in the sense of, like, for you've gone, I was never going to catch you ever, but for there's people at the back, you could kind of go, I'm coming for you, but they would cheer you on as well, which was a nice feeling.
Oh, it's amazing seeing the 100 runners. Because as that point, obviously, Dale Main onwards, obviously, I see quite a few of the 100 runners then, and I mean, some look absolutely fantastic, and some do not. Some look really, really bad. But that's what I was just going to ask you then, because obviously you talked about you being really upset and like crying at times and stuff. Listening to all three of you, it's a real roller coaster of emotions. This journey, isn't it? And like, I think it's hard, or be interested to hear how you sort of go from that real low point where, especially at that point where you're going into Dale Main, where I think we looked at the stats and that was where most people pulled out, and I think that's probably quite obvious place that it would happen. How did you sort of get through that and get out of Dalemain and feel a bit more positive?
I think I didn't actually want to think I was going to stop, because I was like, I just have to finish. I have to finish. I was like, I will be the youngest, and everyone knows that I'm going to be the youngest. He's called my name out. I have to finish. So I never thought I wasn't going to finish. I just thought I was going to finish in a lot of pain. And I think you thought that as well. Like, she didn't want to ever think like, oh, like when I was crying, you weren't ever like, oh, we could stop. She never said that, because she knew I was just going to poo-poo her and be like, no.
I think the hardest thing as a parent, seeing your child suffer, I know she's 19 now, but she's still my baby,
Yeah.
and hearing her sobbing in pain and knowing that, you know, I can't do anything about it, because I want to tell her, stop, let's just stop, let's get you out of this pain, but I also know that's not what she wanted to hear. So I just had to keep saying, look at you, you're doing brilliantly, you've chosen your outfit, you're going to go on stage and you've got an outfit chosen, you can't not do it, like, you're going to have that accolade for the rest of your life of being the youngest ever finisher for now. So I just had to keep that positivity going and like, by catching the 50 runners when we were going up to Hughesdale, and we saw a couple of people that we knew who were doing the 50 and had a good chat with them, all those little sort of positive moments, and then suddenly you're in the next checkpoint, and then I kept saying to her, look, we're just running checkpoint to checkpoint, stop thinking we've got 52 more miles to go. Don't think about what we've done, don't think about where we're going, just think about how you're feeling now, how you're moving, are you eating, are you drinking, how's your form, have you got any rubs, and think about literally the moment you're in. And I mean, that's how I always run ultras. I never run thinking I've got this or I've done that. I just think about the moment that I'm in, and that just seems to make it go.
But we got to Dalemain, and at that point I was like, I was like to Mum, I was like, I think I gave us like half an hour, and I was like, I don't want to spend any longer, because I'm going to see so badly. And like, that's why most people, I think, drop out. Like, some people have the intention of leaving, and then they just stay too long, and then they just can't get going again. So I was like, I gave us time. I was like, we have to leave by this time. And I'd like written out a list of things I was going to do. I was like, I'm going to put my watch on charge, going to put my phone on charge. And then actually some family friends of ours surprised us, and I just hear them behind us. They're like, Thea, Jess, and I like turn around, and I was like, and it was raining, but I was so happy. I was like, oh, we got like a hug, and it was just so nice to like see people and like get a hug from people. I was like, wow. And then like, we also, because we've been going for so long, we knew quite a few people there, and one of the other young finishers from last year, Flo, who works the shop, she was there, and she like immediately came to us when we needed food, and she was like, what do you want? And I think it's nice because it was like a friendly face who was giving us food at Dalemain, and it turned me around a bit. And then there was a woman next to me, and my blisters at this point were in agony. Did you have blisters at this point? I don't know. And then the lady next to me had really bad blisters, and she was talking to me about them, and I felt a bit better because I knew she was continuing, and her blisters looked quite bad. So I was like, well, my blisters can't be that bad then. So I'm sure if she can continue, I can continue. So it was just like seeing someone else also struggling, but knowing she was going to continue helped. But then we left Dalemain, and I went back into my low point actually, because we started going up the hill and everything was hurting, and then I was crying, and then the family friends, the younger brother was like, I thought you were meant to be running this race. I was so angry. I was like, I could have been angry enough to start running, but it was uphill, so I was like, I'm just gonna walk quicker away from you. But yeah, that was low. And then I was hoping we were gonna see my dad at Pooley Bridge, but we didn't, and Pooley Bridge was bad for me. Like, I cried so much at Pooley Bridge, to the point like every single person on the street was like, keep going.
It was a polio, like, oh my, she was proper like sobbing, like that whole sobbing. I'm like, she's fine. I'm not dragging her around, honestly. She's doing this out of her own choice.
And I think I cried pretty much the whole way to Howtown, actually. I was just crying.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry, Mum. I'm just crying. I'm just really emotional right now. I think being tired sort of helped.
Yeah, I think, tiredness was setting in by then.
To be fair, that you did the same, didn't you, Carl? You were crying all the way to...
Yeah, I cried all the way.
But also that before, though, when you said, like, you know, obviously, you as a mother, was there any point when she was sobbing her heart out, you think, actually, this is probably my fault?
Yeah. or she's doing my head in.
Yeah. Shut up.
There were a few times I just wanted to tell her, just shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah.
Just
get on
shut
with
up. And I did, like, we had a playlist downloaded, we had earphones ready to listen to, but we didn't actually even get them out. We did try a little bit of singing, didn't we?
Yeah.
We tried a bit of singing.
One time.
We always forget the words.
We're really bad singers, but it's like there's a few things that keep us going.
We only know one chorus of one song, but we know the words to, and then we just say that on repeat.
It annoys people.
What was the song of choice, though? We need to know that.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, we quite like the musical Les Mis. You know Les Miserables?
Oh yeah.
And there's one song in there, Red and Black.
Black and red.
Black and red and black. And then that's what we sing.
But we don't actually know how it pieces together though. So we just sing it wrong. And then that's when we were coming into Dalemain. I was really struggling, and I think I peed 2 or 3 times going from Dockery to Dalemain because I was only taking in Coke for calories and sugary tea, so I just kept needing the toilet. And I was like, Mum, I'm gonna wet myself, so I had to just pull off on the road and go for a pee. And then I came back and I was like, I don't want to run. And she was like, we'll just sing. So I'm running along and singing Black and Red or Red and Black. And then we sing One Day More. That one's quite good.
Yeah,
it's
belter.
like, One Day More, and there's some harmonies, and like if one of us forgets the words, like we'll do it, like I'll start singing, I'll forget the words, so then she carries on a little bit. Then I'm like, no, my turn to take over. So it's quite fun, but we don't actually know the words to any songs. So, and I couldn't put music in. I was like, I thought it was just gonna be a bit too overstimulating. I wasn't gonna be able to like focus. So I was like, no, I'll just be in my own head, which. I don't know, I was quite happy to have done that because in the 50 we tried putting headphones in and we got probably like 2 or 3 miles and I was like, I can't do this anymore, I like need to take them out. So it was nice to have the option, but we never listened to music.
It's nice to soak up the atmosphere and the race, I think, without the earphones in it, especially with Lakeland. I think when you come through, it's so good. You'll never be able to watch Les Mis again now without thinking about these.
Feeling the pain.
Crying all the way through Pooley Bridge. I'd love to see a video of someone in Pooley Bridge videoing, you know, like you just coming along
it was
sobbing.
Embarrassing. I was like looking down, just like. That's literally what I looked at. I was so embarrassed.
And the thing is, people will have that memory of you. So
I'm never doing that race. What are they doing?
Which is pretty epic, isn't it? On your competitive side, right? Just go back to Dalemain. At what point did you get through Dalemain time-wise? Do you know on your little spreadsheet that you had or not?
We weren't very on our spreadsheet.
It was about 11 o'clock. It was after the 50 runners had gone.
Only just.
So it was about 11. I think it was about 11.
So I think I was pretty much 17. 17 hours, give or take.
I don't know.
So
we left before 12 o'clock. That's what I remember because I was like, we're not leaving any later than 12, and we left before 12.
Oh, so it was about 11:30 we got in and left at 10 to 12.
Yeah. Because I was like, we're not leaving any later than 12 o'clock because then we're never going to get to the finish line.
We must have been pretty close there. How did you find Dalemain as a female for the actual kind of the setup with the tent? Because I went in, I looked inside me, I was like, I ain't going in there. So I went to the right and went down where the 2 toilets were. I just got sorted and changed outside because I went in, I was like, where am I going to put my stuff? Where am I going to sit? There was no chairs, there was sheep shit everywhere, and I was like, I'm not going on that floor there. So I just went round outside me and kind of had 20 minutes there on my own. But how did you find it in there? Because for me, I just think it needs to be a bit bigger, a bit more privacy for everyone, sort of thing. And just, I don't know, it just needs to be a bit bigger. That's what I'm saying.
I thought the marquee was smaller this year. That's why my first impression when we went in there is I felt the marquee was smaller than it's ever been before. And I don't have a problem. I have stripped off in there before and changed. So the year I finished the 100, I got there and I was soaking wet and I just literally took all my clothes off, changed everything. I just turned my back on it. So I don't actually have a problem with it. But I do understand that there are women out there who want to have a bit more privacy, and the toilets were a disgusting state. I don't know if you know. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of people through there. Yeah. The 2 toilets at the back, they were disgusting, and you wouldn't want to get changed in there. And I know they had a sort of a sectioned off area, didn't they, at one end for women to go and get changed. But like you say, I had to we sat on the floor. There weren't any chairs.
You sat on the floor. I couldn't with my knee because I can't get back up. So I just waited around until someone gave me a chair. But to be fair, I'm the same. Like, I don't really care. I didn't change anything other than my top, so I just took my top off, did a wet wash and put it back on. But I mean, everyone's kind of focused on themselves at that point. And I just feel like no one's actually looking at you. No one actually cares. We're all kind of in the same position. I feel like if I had stripped down naked, I don't think anyone would really have noticed that much. So
everyone's in their own sleep deprived state, just worrying about themselves. So, I mean, but that's only our personal.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just ran off to toilets like in complete view of people because I was like, I'm either going to wet myself or go to the toilet. So I'm sorry, everyone. So I don't think I care that much, but I can understand why people do, and I think maybe there could be a bit more privacy for other women, but.
And definitely slightly bigger.
Just a bit bigger, innit? Just a bit big.
Because you're just falling over everyone's poles, you're falling over everyone's feet when you're trying to get up and to get food.
And more chairs. I actually think that might be a checkpoint with the least chairs.
The least chairs.
I've seen other ones with rows of chairs. Yeah. So I think there needs to be more chairs at Dalemain because I had to sit down because I never really sit down, but I had to sit down to take my shoes.
Socks and stuff.
And I couldn't sit down on the floor because of my knees. So.
And that's it. We're not forgetting that the race is growing every year, isn't it? As well. So if you've got the same amount of people and more people coming through, it's just you need it, don't you, mate?
You do. I think the going to chapel style, I like that style of it where you pretty much entrance kind of exit, food to the side, seats to the left, and it's kind of a focus as in like if I want to sit down, I'm facing where I need to be, food, and it's kind of like you feel like you're set up to be in and out. Where there, I think it's kind of a bit doomy, as in like you can get lost in a little corner like within yourself going, I don't want to leave, like
and I think probably because there are quite a few people that drop there, they sort of take the chairs up, they just sit on the chairs waiting until the drop bus is coming to get them, so they could probably just do with an area where if you are dropping you're going to stay down that end so you're out of the way, and
outside
then still could
outside
in the corner. We don't want to associate ourselves
get out
dragged into the drop out.
There should be like a drop out corner, or there'll be some name they can do it in the nicest way possible, as in like you go and have your little moment in there. You can
be sad over there. Don't bring no smiles in.
That's where I got out the 2 years. I'd hiked from where I fell at Wasdale, and then I'd hiked to Dale Main, but it was so cold and wet, and I was like, I can't hike another 45 miles with these knees that see stuff. And I did drop there, and I probably was one of those that sat on a chair, in all my emergency kit, just watching everyone come and go, waiting for the bus. But maybe a few more chairs.
Yeah.
So
brutal, isn't it?
It is brutal, and it's because you'll have been watching from sides, but I don't know how much you can see from where you are into like the tent, and people, like you said, people coming through, they're looking all different states, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's the biggest thing. So when I came past, obviously we did the loop. I saw a couple of lads inside that I knew who gave me a shout. They look pretty good, and that. But I think spent like obviously I can't compute with this, but it's like 45 minutes to an hour in Dale Main, because you're obviously resetting and sorting yourself out and stuff. But that's probably a good thing that you get into that. But then beyond that, just I think where we were in the 50, you just start to catch a few people, and like I said before, some look fantastic, and I think. The 50 runners absolutely love the 100 runners. I think like every time I come past one, I'm just like, you are amazing. Like you are blowing my mind what you're doing. And some just look like cheers man, and some just go you get
like death marching, aren't they?
I always say to him, I remember I picked up a guy's jacket, I think it was 2 years ago actually, he just was like, you're a good man. So I said, mate, honestly, it's not a problem, it's just your jacket. But I absolutely love it, mate. I love watching him come through.
I can relate to that frame of mind though, like something so simple and such an easy deed being done. It's like, you've just saved my life there, just a simple act of bending down, they're like to come back up.
It'd be like, people would say well done to me, and you'd be like, thank you, and then I'd be like in the midst of tears, I'd be like, thank you. And then they'd realise I was struggling, and they're like, no, you're doing really good. And I was like, thank you, I needed that. Because like she's doing fine, and they think I'm fine, and they're like, and I'd really struggled to get the words out with my tears, and I was like, okay, I'm getting embarrassed now by all these people seeing me cry, I've got to stop crying. So it kind of helps.
And to be fair, I've only done, so I did a recce of the 100 with a couple of lads in the January. It was a January recce, wasn't it?
Just bottom me one.
So that put me off, to be honest. But did that one. But that first 50 miles is harder than the 50 miler, isn't it? It is very very hard. So like third play, because you're the second half, so you're all going downhill from there. You're pretty comfortable from that point on, aren't you? So at what point, I guess, in that 50 to 100 point is the most difficult for you? I mean, obviously there's Fusedale, but were there any points where there's no point asking you, Thea, because you cried for the whole 50, so there's no point. But
the river started filling back up, didn't they?
For me, it was after Gatescarth Pass.
Yeah.
That bit. Like going down, because we couldn't run with my knee. Like we just couldn't run, and we like met a friend, and it was fine. But then I think both of us, we never don't talk, but we were actually quite.
When you say you met a friend, it was a guy running the 50 that we know.
Yeah, we met a friend.
We caught him.
Yeah, and
then
we were running with him for a bit, but then he was just chat, and like I love that. I do love that. But I was like kind of like, I just wanted to get back to just me and Mum running, and I was really struggling down there, and like I felt like I couldn't cry in front of him, and like if there were a few tears, he was like, no, you're doing fine, we can get to the end. And I was just like, I just wanted to cry, and I just felt like I couldn't. So it was just a bit more stressful with someone else, I think. And then we got up there, and then I've never been so grateful to see the hill going towards Kentmere. I was just so grateful, because we just like we're just going up it. And on the uphills, I wouldn't say I was crying because we were so locked in. Like, we would just hit a rhythm and we were just going. And so I think the bit going from Mardale Head after the climb, going down, that was my worst bit, I think.
Yeah. I think my worst bit is that bit where you come over to the unmanned checkpoint.
Yeah, Bleatar.
Yeah, coming to it, yeah.
Bleatar, the rain had just, and it's quite slow through that bit, and there were so many overhanging of the bracken, but you can't see the rocks under your feet. And we were with another lady there who'd never done it before, so we were kind of guiding her through there. And it just goes on, and then you've got to stay high, haven't you, to get to the road, but it just seemed to go on and on and on. And it's like, we've recorded that so many times, but in the dark, when you're that fatigued, you start to question yourself. You're a bit like, are we just sort of doubling back on ourselves? Because we just seem to have gone on for so long, but then suddenly you see the road.
I think you struggled a lot there because obviously she had to slow down so much. Like you said, you were going quite slowly last time when you did it in 28 hours, and we were going for 35 hours this time. So like that 7-hour difference, she definitely, I would say you struggle towards the end of it because you're not used to being on your feet that long. Obviously I'm not, but I was anticipating that, whereas you're not used to going that slow in an ultra. And I think coming out of Ambleside was the time that you were probably in a low and I was feeling quite good.
Yeah.
Like, I knew where we were coming out of Ambleside and I felt quite confident. I was like, no, we're going this way. And you were like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Like, and I was like, your watch isn't beeping. Like, I can see head torch to head. And I think
I got to the point where I was so worried that we got so far that if in my fatigue state that we suddenly went to the detour and to now add on like another hour, I just probably wouldn't have been able to cope with that.
Yeah.
And there was like literally a switch that had flicked in her. No more crying, tears had dried up.
Yeah.
She was having a lovely time and I was actually going the other way, and I started to feel like, am I going to let her down now? Because I do feel really fatigued. I'm not very good at eating, and she was okay. She was eating crisps, and I couldn't get crisps, and I couldn't get anything. And I like the precision fuel jellies, but even those weren't going in. So I was just surviving on Coke, and I could tell that my energy levels were just going right downhill. And I honestly thought that, being a parent and her, going through the night when she was a baby, I'd be fine doing 2 nights. But actually, that second night for me really zapped my energy. And I was sat on the floor in chapel style, freezing, and I get really cold. I can't control my body temperature very well, and I was absolutely freezing. And I sat on the floor and said, she goes, well, what? And she's standing, what can I get you? Come on, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, look, I just need 5 minutes. Get me a sugary coffee and some biscuits, but not bourbons. Do not give me a bourbon biscuit. That's all I remember. And then he came over with like a selection of biscuits, and I'm trying to dunk them into my coffee so I could just literally swallow them because I couldn't even chew by that stage. And she's like oh, you're gonna go, hot roof, like, come on. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
I think I was a bit out. I thought like chapel style, we were actually quite close to home, but it's still 10 miles.
Yes.
I was like, come on, we gotta go. And I kept looking at like little sheet, and we were actually up on the sheet, and I was like, we gotta stay up on the sheet. I was getting
competitive. Now she's trying to compete her own sheet.
I was like, oh, we gotta go. And Mum was like, I just need a second to sit on the floor, and I was like, I got her coffee and her biscuits, and I was watching her, and I was like wolfing down some water, and I came back over, and you were still just like. And I was like, please, I just want to go home now. And to be fair, I did keep saying, I was like, I want to go home and I want to get a hug from my dad and my boyfriend. I just wanted a hug from someone to know, like, I had, like, finished. I was like, we've got to go. And, like, we got out of Chapel Style. And then I'd say that was quite hard getting towards Tipplethwaite because that felt like forever going to Tipplethwaite. I was like, we're never going to get there. Yeah. And at this point, both of us were done. Like, both of us could not eat or drink. Like, every time I took a bit of Coke in, I was like gagging, and I was like, just swallow, just gotta get the Coke in. So going to Tipplethwaite was hard. And then I was like mentally telling myself, I was like, we're gonna hit Tipplethwaite and go, because it's only 5k, which is still gonna take an hour and a half, but I was like, we're gonna go. And I kept saying, it's gonna take us an hour and a half, and you're like, more like 2. And I was like, no, an hour and a half, we're gonna get there. And I thought we were just gonna leave Tipplethwaite, but by this point you were freezing, and you were like, we're not gonna finish unless we stop and put layers on.
I'm not gonna finish unless I stop and put my...
I feel fine. I'm much better. I'm better in the cold and you're better in the heat. So she was like freezing, but then by the time I'd waited around so long, I had to put my layers on.
And so the Tipplethwaite, they'd lost their marquee at 4 o'clock because the wind had been so high. Their original marquee had blown away. We can't hear you anymore.
No, we're here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
We've just enthralled listening.
Everyone was in the tiny little, like the only tent that they had. I don't know if you saw this, but everybody was in there. There was like a lady with like almost like hypothermia with like loads of foil blankets, tea. She was shivering. There was a medic trying to deal with someone else, and I'm like, I don't know. I've just got to get my bag off. I've got to get my long sleeve out, and I've got to get my bottoms on in 7 Lakeland runs, I have never put my waterproof trousers on, I've never put my gloves on, and I've never put my hat on. But this year,
we had everything. It was like
other than our emergency base layers, obviously they didn't come out, but everything else we had went on. I had 2 buffs on, I had my gloves on.
It looked so funny. We had like 1 buff around our ears and then 1 buff were like over.
Honestly, and I was like, this is the only way. And then a brilliant volunteer. Can I get your teas? So she went, I've got the 2 teas. We literally down those, and then she goes, can I get another 2 teas? So she went,
and then you were finally warm, and I was like,
right, we're warm enough, let's get out.
She never does this. We always pay like
the toll,
but not a pound. We always do like no. So we were both carrying a tenner, and you went, you're too cold to pay, and I was like, guess we're gonna have to do a £5 each then. And I got my like £10 note, and I put it in.
Too cold to pay.
Get my tenner.
You were just like, I'm just gonna.
I could not even get my fingers to get my tenner out of my bag, but I'd already sponsored Mark before anyway, so. And you get.
And I paid the 10. But then usually you're the stronger on hills. Like I was feeling strong on hills this time, but usually you're stronger. But I think I was much better up to the way, in my opinion. I was ahead of you, and I was just.
No, we had another lady join us who she had this cape on. It was hilarious. She had all her waterproofs on, and then she had like this theme park poncho on top that was like rustling away. And you were leading, then she was in front of me, and then I was behind. And actually, it's probably one of the proudest moments of the run for me to watch you in the dark, second night, coming into early hours in the morning, leading us. I was like,
following the path.
She's mine. She's mine. Look at that.
I was felt quite good there. But by this point, I was hallucinating. I did keep seeing like lions on the path. I kept seeing sleeping female lions and her cubs. And then like a few like meters on, I'd see like the dad lion. And oh my God, it was getting me scared. I was like, oh, there's lions everywhere. And it didn't help that there were also frogs on the course a lot.
Yeah, little tiny ones, weren't there?
Are these frogs real, or am I hallucinating them as well?
There were loads of frogs.
After Tibblethwaite, I felt quite good, and then we were coming down the down, and I think that's I wasn't crying then, but I was just in pain with my knees. But I think the pain kind of goes because you know you're going to finish now. You just got to get off. Section. So like I was using the poles to brake on my way down, and then we got down, and then at this point you were like, I'm done, and I was like, no, we got to run down the hill because I want to get there quickly, and you were like, no, we're just going to walk, and I was like, no, and I kept we're just going to run, come on, we can run this little bit, so I was like forcing her to run down the hill.
And my feet were battered, like my toes were battered, and the thought of running and the toes hitting the front of the shoe. But we did. Once we got off that hard bit, we ran down.
And then we ran all the way down, and we ran that boat. And oh my God, you said like you felt really speedy last time. I was like, there's no way. But honestly, by the time I got to the black boat, I felt like I could have done the whole 100 again. I was like, wow,
it's amazing. The body's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Running. These people were like, well done. And then we run past. They were like, they're 100 runners. And so we were like running low. And then we looked so good that my dad and boyfriend didn't even notice that it was us that had finished because we looked so good. And I was like, hello, like with my hobnails waiting. I was like, we finished. And they were like, oh, it's you. We didn't recognise you. And I was like, photo. And then we finished, and I cried at the 50. I was so overwhelmed. The 100, I was like, well, I just felt like this innate sense of peace. I was like, well, we finished. That's great. Can we get to bed now? That's how I felt.
There's no way you were crying at the end after all the tears you produced on the
the
I tried. I think I had peed all my water out and cried all the water out, so it's nothing.
I had a moment just as we came, just before the black ball, that's like that last nice little descent, I had a moment where it all kind of came over me, and I thought, I've got to hold this in because I'm just gonna be a mess. So I did hold it in, but I did say to you, I really want to cry, we've done it. But yeah, that was it.
And then we got given a 50 medal, but like everyone says, oh, that's so bad. Now I felt so good because I turned around and I went, I actually did the 100, and I had to get the 100 medal instead, and I felt really good because the volunteers were like, really? And I was like, I did.
You must have looked so fresh, so fresh that they thought, 50 finished here.
Yeah, must say.
You only had that when you came in though, weren't it? That was literally, weren't it? Nothing else.
I felt quite good. I was quite happy.
How was it for you as a mum coming in with your daughter at 100?
Just the proudest moment. Well, I sent a huge sense of relief that she survived. We survived. So proud that she'd managed, like I said earlier, she'd managed all her food and her nutrition and everything so much better than in the 50. I felt like my job is done.
Yeah.
She can now continue her running journey, and I can just check in from time to time to make sure she's not overtraining. But yeah, like so proud. And I never once, when I started my running journey, I never thought that we'd be running that sort of thing together. And even when I completed my first 100, I never thought that you'd ever go, yeah, we'll do the 100 together. So yeah, it was such a proud moment.
It's beautiful. What a beautiful moment as well for you, Thea, you know, coming in there with your mum as well.
Yeah.
And that finisher photo, how are you both looking on that?
I look quite good. Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking really fresh.
Much better than last year, I have to say. Last year I was a bit of a miserable mess at the end. I was quite like upset at the end. I was like, wow, I did that, but I'm in so much pain. I'm not going to be able to run through. I actually feel better recovered now than I did after the 50. So maybe I was just going too slow on 100. But I liked our finishes photo.
I like to think it's another year's training and strengthen your legs.
But yeah,
exactly.
We finished. I felt quite happy, and until I sat down and I was like, well, I'm actually really thirsty now. My stomach was rumbling from Tibblesway, but I just couldn't eat anything. I just wanted actual food by that point. So I finished and I had some rice and I was like, feel great now. Bedtime.
Yeah.
I need bed. Yeah, but it was quite nice. It was. I would say it's a little bit anticlimactic when you finish the 100 so late that it's now early hours of the morning. Everyone else has kind of gone to bed and you know you're going to have to get up because you don't want to miss the race awards. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to go to sleep and I've got to get up in a few hours time. But it was quite nice to just finish and then get in bed. Have a shower. I enjoyed my shower. I'm brushing my teeth. Yeah. I enjoyed brushing my teeth. I enjoyed brushing my teeth probably for like 6 times that day because I was just like, get all this sugar off my teeth and don't give me any more sugar for like months.
Yeah, absolutely. I finished the 50, and so my fiance's mum was doing the 100. Sorry, doing the 50, not doing the 100. So I finished the 50, and I got straight into the van to get to Ambleside to watch her come through Ambleside. So,
my goodness!
But I was like, well, obviously not as bad, but I was like, God, I just want to have a shower and brush my teeth because all like a tailwind all over your face and that. And you
just a wipe.
But like again though, the adrenaline thing of when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is class, like being here watching these people come through, and then managed to get back. But you just need a shower, don't you? You need a shower. And then you feel alright then, don't you, watching people come through, and it's just that I don't know, you just feel grim, don't you, I think.
Yeah, I think the brushing the teeth one, it's like that was like I did 2-3 times once I'd done, and even then I was like, I'm not satisfied with what's gone on. It was a weird feeling, but with the 100 though, there's so many different things that happen that you kind of, it's hard to label. If you listed them all, the things that could go wrong and do go wrong and that affect you, like you've got your, even just like you said, your toes against your shoes, you've got your blisters, you've got your fuzzy teeth, you know, like the wind, like the things you can list off that you've probably been through that you've not mentioned are so many. Like even finishing there, what are you getting to bed for? 5 o'clock or 5, and then you've then got, what have you had, 3.5, 4 hours kip before you then got to get up and then get sorted. Sit up, get back to 10.
It was such a long day.
Yeah.
I was like, we got in, we had finished running, we went for a sleep, we went to the presentation, we went back for a sleep, then we went to the pub, and then we went back for a sleep. I felt like I lived like 4 days in that. Like, it's still Sunday. Are you sure?
It's all a bit mentally, but I want to go back to the second night in terms of, so I left Ambleside about 10 o'clock and I went in terms of that second night. I had nothing, my concentration went, I just wanted to sleep at any point. Were you kind of similar with that? 'Cause exactly the same, I didn't want to eat, I didn't want to take any gels in, the Coke I couldn't stomach anymore, bar the oranges and the watermelon, which I hogged at Chapel Star. But I'd switched off, I'd zoned out, and it was pretty much, no matter how long it's going to take me now, I'm just going to march as fast as I can until I get to Coniston, and that was it. That's all I had in my head. I couldn't do anything more. Survival, really.
No. I think the lack of concentration, that's what was really worrying me about like messing the course up. So whenever we could, we kind of latched onto someone who looked like they knew what they were doing on the course. And there was one point that you run along a wall for a long time, slightly downhill along a wall, and I've only ever run it in the daylight, and so running in the dark was so disconcerting for me. And the head torch started coming back the other way, and I'm saying, Thea, we've got to get the road book out. I don't know where we are, and no one was around, and this head torch just kept coming towards us. And I'm like, we're on the wrong path. And then I said to the guy, are we on the right course? He's like, yeah, just keep going down. Don't worry about me. I'm just a spectator. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Big relief.
So that fatigue, your brain just does not function.
But I think I always said like my last minor goal was get to Ambleside. I had many goals along the race, but I knew once I got to Ambleside, I was like, I'm finishing no matter what. But at Kenmare, we'd had a wobble and it was on the camera, and some other family friends had seen that, and their husband was quite far ahead of us, and they'd waited in Ambleside for us because they'd seen us on the video. And then I had no clue who it was who was screaming my name, and I was staring at them with my head torch, and they're like, yes, Thea, yes, Thea. And we saw them, and it was just such a massive boost. They were like, we've just waited for you, we just want to say well done, you've got this, you can get to the end, you can finish now. And hearing someone else tell me that now I've got to Ambleside, I can finish, I was like, I can do this. you were stressing, but like I think that's why it had such an up, was like people had waited to cheer us on. Like they've waited like probably another like hour and a half, 2 hours. So I was like, this is such a nice feeling, and I was like, we can do this now. So
yeah, I found the second night a little tough.
Yeah.
I did.
It was nice.
It was, yeah.
I was actually dreading going to the second night. That was most of my tears after the first night and like the morning. And then when I started struggling again, I was dreading the second night. I was like, I do not want to go through another night. I'm going to be so tired. I'm going to be like hallucinating. I'm not going to be wanting to eat, and I'm just going to want to go to bed. Because my mum and I look quite similar, and we were wearing quite similar outfits coming up Tipplethwaite. And I just have to say, it felt like an out-body experience. I thought she was me, and I was looking at myself. And I was like... I wasn't speaking much, but I was like, I've got to keep talking to you because I think I'm going to fall asleep and fall off the path otherwise. I'm just going to keep saying some words to myself. But I genuinely thought that I was looking at myself. It was really off-putting.
That is mental. Like playing a computer game.
Yeah, it is. That is a bit.
Yeah, it was.
So when did you get back home then? Did you leave on the Monday or?
Yeah, so we stayed the Sunday night and then left at about 10:30 on the Monday. And Phil, my husband, like he works at the headquarters, and he probably only had his own ultra because he'd only had 20 minutes sleep from sort of Saturday all the way through. Bless him, but he drove all the way home, bless him.
And then I got home and I looked at my feet and I was like, I'm going to lose them. They were like swollen balloons. I couldn't see like any of my toe definition at all, because obviously we had sat in the car so long and my feet were in agony, and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually gonna lose my feet. That's going to be the last ever ultra I do because my feet are just going to fall off. So yeah, I didn't enjoy how long the journey is back after the Lake District.
Yeah, you've got to trek, haven't you, back home there?
Yeah. But even those little things like the swollen ankles, like mine literally disappeared. My feet were swollen. And now you've been through it, you kind of know what to expect with it. But for the first time when you go through it, it's quite, I'm not saying scary, but it's a weird scenario in the terms of like the night sweats for me. The first time I had them, I was like, this is pretty brutal. This, like, what is going on? Because luckily I was staying away, and it was the hotels, well, the Airbnb's issue to deal with. But the first 2 nights, that Sunday and the Monday, just like someone had thrown a bucket of water over me, pretty much. Not feeling like ill or anything. Just woke up pretty much sweating. Yeah, crazy, really. Don't know, just a big detox, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Or it's just recovering it.
You've just been through trauma, just been through some serious traumatic experience, and that's what comes out the back of it, isn't it? The night sweats and all that sort of thing. Absolutely mental. I mean, just last thing for me, I guess, is you've obviously had some support as well on the course, and I think just how much that support is, you know, in everywhere you go, every checkpoint you go to. Any particular highlights of who you saw? Any checkpoints in particular you absolutely loved, or because it's just always nice to hear those sort of things.
Yeah,
I think
it makes a difference.
I think it was Wasdale Head. There was this man, and I've seen him before. I don't know who he is, but I was standing there eating watermelon, which I was already happy about enough to be eating this watermelon. And he just like stood and he was just talking to me, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna do so good," and he knew me by name. I have no clue who I was. I felt really bad, but that really that gave me like a boost there. I think when we saw the people at Delmain that I wasn't expecting to see, that was a boost, and then seeing the people at Ambleside who I wasn't expecting to see was a massive boost. And then basically any of the volunteers, like it feels like they're pretending they know me, and I just love it. I'm just like, I really don't know who you are, but thank you so much, because you're making my race so much better.
Yeah. I think for me, Kentmere is one of my favourite, because we know the checkpoint manager at Kentmere, Jamie, and we got extra special treatment. He held my poles while I used the Portaloo and all sorts, and pretty special there. Just when you know, I mean, all the volunteers are superb, brilliant. You know, it's one of the best events for volunteers. But just when you know somebody a bit more personally, it just, and they're saying how brilliantly you're doing, and that they've been following you, and it's just really nice.
And we were at such low at Kentmere, and he was like, just eat some pasta, so we shared a bowl of pasta, and I actually think that really helped. And I don't think without him we would have had that pasta. So
no, we had a smoothie, but
it was very nice.
Big shout out to Jamie from Kentmere.
Big shout out to him, his wife, and Scarlett, their daughter. And
really want to find out who this Wasdale guy is.
The mystery man.
He's out there somewhere.
Have you got a description? Like, is he tall, bald, and all that, glasses?
He's tall. He has a full head of hair. Very tall, probably like 6 foot plus, but maybe not. I'm quite small, but yeah, I think he usually volunteers, but I don't think that's his usual checkpoint. I don't know. I really recognised him, and I was enjoying my water and having a chat, and I was like waiting for you in the toilet, and I was like, I don't know who you are, but thank you.
There'll be pictures on Facebook. I think they've been coming out now of the actual checkpoints themselves, so there might be a couple of Wasdale before the dark. You never know.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I'll find him.
Track him down.
We'll track him down, get him on, we'll have a chat with him, see what he remembers. But that's what me is, but it's not really a question. It's more the fact that like the journey you've gone through from over the past like 10 years to kind of go Lakeland 1, Lakeland 50, and then the Lakeland 100. I think until you've done the 100 or that sort of distance, it's different from the 50 in the sense of not physically. It's that mental side that it takes to another level in the sense of you can't really explain it until you go into it, and it's not necessarily you go negative. It's not necessarily you go positive. Just something changes, and I don't even know how to kind of explain what it is, but something within you kind of just keeps driving you on, doesn't it? And it's something that you don't get in day-to-day life. It only comes when you do a certain race, and like with yours, when the wall you've done 80 odd, you're on the brink of that there in the terms of you've definitely gone to a point there where your thought process is changing. You I don't know, there's something within yourself that just goes, you know what, I'm having this now. There's like an inner confidence that just keeps pushing you along, and it's a nice feeling in the sense of the 50 challenges you physically, but the 100 takes you to another level on both sense, I think. And I think it's an experience that if you can physically do it, I think mentally you should try it at some point just to go, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Because it's a bit mental in it, really. It's a mental scenario.
Trying to explain the race to like colleagues and non-runners, they just don't get it. Like when you say, oh yeah, I went through 2 nights, well, where did you sleep? No, we didn't sleep. Well, you know, you must have slept. No, we didn't, other than walking asleep on your feet. Like no one can comprehend it. And I think, like until you've done it and you put yourself in that position and asked your body just to keep going when you've never done anything like this in training, and your brain be strong enough to go, come on, we are going to do this.
And people like to think they understand. Like my friends would be like, because a lot of my friends were messaging me, and when I was struggling I would get my phone out and I would like read their messages, and they would just be like, oh, you've gone through the first night, like you got this, like you've gone so far in this first night. And I'm like, yeah, you've seen I've gone 20 miles in the first night and you were asleep for 8 hours and I've only gone 20 miles, so like I am still strong. And they finish and they're like, oh, I felt like I was there with you. Like, no, you weren't.
Yeah,
no, you weren't. You had 2 full nights sleep and you're feeling great and you're feeling fresh, and all you saw was me struggling a little bit, and you're like, oh, she's struggling. Like, no, you don't understand. I still feel like I don't understand. I feel like I've had a mental block from half the pain. I just feel like I don't even fully understand what I did. So yeah,
epic.
Which is madness, isn't it? And I think it's underestimated in the terms of, so you what were your time? 35 were it?
35:15, yeah.
35.
16 seconds.
we must have been neck and neck on that course for quite a lot of it from doctoring pretty much. But I think people forget about, you actually got up at 7 o'clock that morning. You know, like you might have had a nap in between it, but it's not you've done 35 hours. It's more the fact you've done 40, 45. You're going on 2 days awake, and that's the bit that kind of people forget. It's not like you've got up at 5:30 and gone racing after 8 hours kip. You've been up half a day and then you're going racing. And I think that's where it takes its toll on the second night, where it did with me.
Probably be a very different race if you started at 6 in the morning rather than 6 in the evening.
It'd be completely different, wouldn't it? Completely.
More enjoyable for a start, probably.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah. that first day running through Blacksail would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
That'd be all right.
But no, pretty special, innit? So for yourself, you finished your podium how many times now at the Lakeland 50? Twice, right?
Twice.
Right, so it's pretty special, innit? And for yourself, you're now the youngest triple crown. Is it triple crown? Is that what
Triple Crown,
ever in the history of Lakeland history?
Yay!
Soon to be youngest ever slate holder. That's what we're going for.
That might be pushing it. That might be my limit.
But that doesn't need to be. What is the record? I'm guessing you've looked at it.
No, I actually
have you not? Oh well, because you might have.
Slate just seems like.
I think I saw her run 100, and she was like, "Never again." So I was like, 100 is like.
I think for someone so young, for me, like that slate isn't. It shouldn't ever be an option to you. Like I don't see you'd finish that in 5 years ago. Oh, I'm delighted I've done that by the age of 23, 24.
Yeah.
I just think.
I also think. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, I think a lot of the ambitions I have come from my mum. Like, she obviously did the 100 ages ago, so then I was like, oh, I can do the 100. And my mum obviously hasn't got the say yet. You're going to get it. So, like, I'm not mentally there yet. I think because I can see my mum does things, I'm like, if mum can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Not to put you down, but it's just more like, I think she hasn't done it yet, so it's, like, not really ever been on my radar. I think I've got to step back down, do maybe some like marathons and half marathons and beat my time in that.
She's taking my 5k time, she's taking my 10k time, she's taking my 1500, but I'm still holding on to my ultra times.
I've been picking them up slowly but surely. Next up's the half marathon, then the marathon, and then I can start doing the ultra times.
We've got a lot to look forward to with that, I think. Excited to see how it goes. Massive,
any distance at it.
Oh yeah, mental. You've got great genes, haven't you now from Lisu? So we'll really look forward to how you do it. Massive thanks as well for joining us on the pod. It's so soon after Lakeland and all fresh as a daisy, which is great to see, and very much looking forward to what you're going to bring in the future. Yeah. Massive thanks.
And I've enjoyed it. Thanks it's a nice bit of therapy talking about it. Because I'm back at work tomorrow. I went back on Thursday and honestly no one give a shit. Someone just said, oh, how was the second night? How are your legs? And then that was literally it. And I'm just like, so I'm going to go back in tomorrow and literally no one's going to like even bother about it.
Just listen back to this, mate.
Just listen back,
on loop.
Feel like you're there again.
Yeah, just crying loads.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us. It's been great.
It's been great. Mum and daughter. Yeah. Crying. So much crying.
What a duo. Right, thank you very much. Speak soon.
Thanks so much.
Said a bit.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?